On today's Pub Talk, we have some MLB talk. We're going to be talking about the All-Star Game as well as the Home Run Derby and see who we think should win. We have some unfortunate deaths also happening this past week, and also Kendrick Norton's arm. We also have the Crazy Horse Monument of action movies, and 6 beers, of course, to round out the show. As always, we want to thank our sponsor at Route 11 Chips. Summer brings friends and family together for all kinds of reasons. Cookouts, parties, socials, and maybe you're planning a big summer bash. You're going to need some snacks. And Route 11 has been chipping away since 1992. With their secret recipe and superior ingredients, their mission is to make an outstanding product in a safe and clean environment. If you haven't tried their chips, you don't know what you're missing. Quality and flavor packed into every bag. So stop at your local Giant, Martin's, or Food Line and pick up a bag today. Alrighty, let's get this thing started. Alrighty, everybody. Once again, welcome to Pub Talk, episode number 5, going strong here. So, today, once again, my name is CJ, always hosted by the coach as well.
Hey.
And once again, we got Pat on again because he has nothing better to do. And also,
well, you ain't wrong there.
And also, the Buzzman is back once again. Mr. Buzzy here to the left of me. First of all, first order of business that we have to get out there. What are we drinking tonight? What are we drinking on the table here tonight?
Oh yeah.
My.
What do you got there?
Well, I have this nice 32-ounce big-ass beer full of Blue Moon here. So I'm in good keep.
I'm supporting the Crown Royal Black and Sprite right now. So
Captain Morgan and Diet, the way I always go.
And I got black raspberry water with Tito's homemade vodka or handmade vodka.
Blackberry
Homemade. Hope
water.
it's not home. Not it's homemade.
Alrighty then.
Bad. I like Tito.
And once again, we're going to go off topic. As you heard in the intro, breaking news, Kawhi Leonard has been now signed. He was holding out by giving his destination, and he is now signed by the Los Angeles Clippers. Not Lakers, the Clippers.
Talk about a quiet setup, huh?
Well, they have now become very relevant in the West.
Oh, my
very
goodness.
relevant with Paul George.
Yeah, with Doc Rivers still their head coach now.
Yeah.
Now Paul George also is acquired by the Clippers with a trade now as well for the Clippers. And also breaking news, we have Boogie Cousins signing a 1-year deal
Cousins.
with the Lakers now, the Los Angeles Lakers.
Wow, the Lakers
Just a
got-
little bit more depth with AD. That's
A lot of talent out there in
Oh
LA.
yeah, now
Oh man.
they had a hell of a day yesterday,
Yeah.
But
and even this morning they had a hell of a
But
morning
for
too.
Kawhi Leonard, 4 years, $142 million. We saw the max contract coming from some team. It's just a shame that Toronto just could not offer him what he wanted.
I don't think you're completely wrong there, but I also say that when you look at the way Kawhi ended up in Toronto, he was traded to Toronto. It wasn't like he chose that place. So, it doesn't break my heart that he left, and I'm sure it doesn't break the heart of a lot of fans that he left.
He brought them a championship.
Yeah,
honestly.
he did what he did. He was a consummate professional. He kept his mouth shut. He went in there. He balled his rear end off, did what he was supposed to do, and they got an NBA title.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah. All right. So enough talking about the sport that we hate. We're going to move on to We're actually going to move on to baseball talk. The All-Star break is now finally coming up, and we have the All-Star game and the Home Run Derby coming up next week. And right now, we have in the Home Run Derby, which I care about the most, more than the All-Star game, because the All-Star game is just another baseball game. That's all.
Yeah,
it
but
really
let's talk
is.
about the All-Star game real quick.
Yeah, of
because
course.
If you think about it, of all the 4 major sports, baseball's All-Star game is probably the one that's the best one to watch.
It's more
It's the most
enjoyable
fun.
than
Because
anything.
it's
the most
actually-
fun to watch.
It's important. It's important to win.
Yeah.
Well, that plus the fact that it's more closely related to what a real baseball game is. These other sports, come on. You're
But it
looking at
has been more in the direction of the AL these past couple of years. The AL have won, I think it's been 5 in a row.
Yeah, I get that, but at the same time, I'm just talking about for pure entertainment value.
Yes, okay.
You're watching a real baseball game here.
Yeah.
It's not like the football, hockey.
Pro Bowl, oh my God, it's a joke.
Nobody
It
wants
really
to touch
is.
anybody.
Well, it's just it's at the end of the year. Nobody
right.
wants to
And
be
the
there.
NBA
They're only
All-Star
doing it 'cause they're
game is
getting
just
paid.
awful as
There's
well.
no defense.
The slam dunk contest
Oh,
is more famous
That's
than the
best
freaking
part.
All-Star game.
That's
yeah.
the best.
So if you're going to watch a baseball game, I think the All-Star game is the one to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think get that wrong. I mean, you look at over the history of the All-Star game, who cares that the American League's won the last 5 or whatever like that? It's gone in cycles over and over again. But you look at the overall record between them, and I mean, the American League has a 1-game win or one game lead, 44, 43, and 2. So I mean, it's important now. When you get into the postseason play, playing well in the All-Star game has a difference. It makes a difference, and I like that part of the game. I also like, and this is one thing for me is that I really enjoy is the fact that it's a fan favorite thing. So it's a popularity contest. Fans want to see their favorite player. This is an opportunity for them to get onto the field and stuff like that. And I think people have taken their shots at how Major League Baseball chooses their All-Star game and everything like that, or their All-Star teams and their players and stuff like that. And yes, there's some snubs here and there, but at the end,
there's 2 huge snubs this year. You got 2 of the biggest signed contracts in MLB history, not on the NL side this year. Bryce Harper and Manny Machado.
Well, Manny Machado, I don't understand.
He didn't get hot until late, though.
But Bryce Harper doesn't deserve to be in this game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no,
Bryce Harper does not.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the fans got that right.
Yeah, no question.
You know?
But I'm just saying, for 2 of the highest paid contract guys in
Absolutely.
MLB history,
Yeah, I mean, and Manny
Mike
plays
Trout's a starter,
and
he's actually starting.
Yeah, but you look at Mike Trout's stats and stuff like that. Not only is he a fan favorite, but he's probably the best overall baseball player.
One of the
in
best.
Oh, period. Absolutely.
Of his generation.
I mean, I just taking some notes on who
Pat,
Trout
you're just
on
saying that
who
'cause
Trout
he's a
is.
Philly fan. What are
he's
you talking about?
he's the number 1 vote getter. He's hitting
Hey, do you like Eagles?
299. He's got 20, 21, 22 home runs. And Manny Machado, yeah, he got skipped over, but Manny Machado didn't get hot until like the last 2 weeks, the last 10 days, something like that, and he just hit 20 home runs. I think there was a little bit more expected out of Manny by this point, and I don't know if the big contract and that whole leading up into spring training, hindered his performance, I guess you might want to say. But I guess that's a snub if you want to look at it. But I don't know.
Right now we have the Astros, though. They're reigning players on the AL side.
Yeah,
they got 4 players starting just in the deep. Right. They have 4 players.
You got Michael Brantley in the outfield.
Yeah.
You've got a couple of pitchers in there too that are just top of their games.
And then you have the Yankees.
You got Springer in the outfield too, and you got Bregman at third. So they definitely have.
And Bregman's also going to be in the home run derby as well.
Yeah, and so you look at those. I don't know. When I take a look at this lineup, what are you thinking about pitchers? We were just talking about this pre-show and things like that, and right now, how do you not hand the ball to Max Scherzer?
Oh, in the National League, absolutely.
Yeah, in the National League, how do you not hand the ball to Max Scherzer or Hyun-Jin Ryu from the Dodgers? Both those guys have been lights out, been playing, been pitching very well. How do you not do that? And then on the American League side, what do you do about the American League side and their pitching? You got Verlander,
Chapman.
Chapman. Well, he's a closer, but
yeah.
Yeah, but these guys are all closers in this game because they're only going to pitch an inning or 2.
Yeah, that's very
maybe
true. They got 12 different pitchers for 9 innings of
Right. You
baseball.
can put Chapman in there whenever you want.
Right. And you got Brandon Workman from the Red Sox. He's 8-1. He's got probably one of the best ERAs in baseball right now, 1.5 or 1.85. And then the newcomer Mike Minor from the Rangers, who's also playing really well. When you look at his stats and you look at how baseball rates their pitchers, he rates pretty well. So when if I'm the what's his name, Alex Cora, I got to shake my head, because the starting pitcher isn't going to come out until Sunday about 5:30 or so. They'll announce the starting pitchers, but.
Well, Charlie Morton's another one that people have been talking about.
We talked about that beforehand.
Charlie Morton, up until this point, has been an average to above average pitcher. He was in the National League for a long time, and all of a sudden he is lights out. He's got one of the lowest ERAs in the American League. So he's another guy they could throw out there early.
I was looking at some of the players from the National League. When you look at a 590 slugging percentage and hitting over 300, 319, 318, Christian Yelich 325. He's got 31 home runs. You look at Cody Bellinger. He's hitting 344. He's got a 707 slugging percentage, and he has 30 home runs. If you're an American League pitcher, how are you not? How are you not looking at that going, holy shit, I'm facing murderer's row?
Yeah.
They got heavy bats in there. You look at Freddie Freeman from the freaking Braves.
And they haven't announced the DHs yet, but as far as I know, Josh Bell will be the DH for the National
And
League.
he's
just,
another
I'm sorry, I'm a Pittsburgh guy, but he's a
Same here,
monster.
yep.
Yeah, and
he's a monster.
he's lining up for home run derby as well.
Yeah, he is. He's,
Absolutely.
Right now, apparently, he's the third guy, I want to say. Number one is Christian Yelich, of course, from the Brewers. Fun fact, pardon my take, they had an interview with Christian Yelich, and they said that Christian Yelich said, if I win, you two have to eat each other's asses. And of course, they were like, we're not backing down from this. Let's do it. And now, like this past week, they're like, we really can't allow Christian Yelich to win this. Vlad Jr.'s like,
well, he's gonna hit dingers now. Like,
exactly. He's gonna start getting his cuts. So this home run derby thing, I was looking back at some stats and things like that, and I think the last 5 home run derby guys have all taken a dip after, they call it the derby's dip or that slump that comes after the home run derby.
Hamilton is a perfect example.
A lot of guys have run into that, and I don't know, does the winner lose in the long run? Is it
only if you let it happen?
Yeah, they talk about
only if you let
screwing
it
up their swings
Yeah.
and doing all this other thing. I don't buy into most of that.
I was hoping you would say that, because when you think about a Major League Baseball player, especially a good hitter, the numbers of pitches he sees every day, hours in the cage, perfecting his swing, you can't tell me that one evening trying to hit dingers is going to affect his overall psyche when he comes to the plate and things like that.
If they knew that was going to happen, they wouldn't get into the thing to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't buy into most of that.
Only 8 players get in, and
right. And it's interesting how they seeded these guys.
Yeah,
because
see that.
They seed them on the number of home runs that they've hit.
Yeah, I mean, especially the 8th place guy only has 9 home runs.
All right, well,
Right.
let me throw this out there.
8 home runs,
So
excuse me.
who do you guys have winning? And if that guy doesn't win, who's your sleeper?
Honestly, Josh Bell's my sleeper regardless.
Josh Bell's your sleeper.
I'll tell you what,
I'm
Even
going-
at 3, really?
Yeah.
I'm going with Josh Bell as my winner.
As your winner?
I really
I
think.
think Yelich is going to win.
Okay.
I'm telling you what, I'm going to hear. Well,
Are you going to pick Jock Peterson?
no, I'm
Okay.
not. As
I
much
thought
as
he was
I'd
gonna
like to
go
pick Jock
Peterson.
Peterson because he's done well in the home run derby
I know,
before.
and you're also a Dodgers fan,
No,
so you can eat
Pete
shit.
Alonso from the Mets. That kid flat out hammers the ball. I mean, he's hit
The only
He's a rookie.
shining example of the Mets this entire year, and take offense to that as you want,
He-
is Pete Alonso.
Absolutely.
That's the only shining
not
example.
only does he just hit home runs, he crushes them. The number of home runs that are
I think over 400 yards.
400
Or
feet,
my
400
fault.
foot
Yep,
blast is
400 yards.
that's a hell of a
Yeah,
blast.
that's a long. Yeah,
Wow, that's
my
over the
fault.
Allegheny River.
Yeah, I think the odds-on favorites, if you look at it, I think Josh Bell's going off at the top right now.
Well, here's what we got to.
He's the number 3 seed, but I think he's definitely in there. He's definitely gonna.
But that's based on home runs to this point. But again, now I haven't looked at the dimensions of the Jake, but does it appeal to a left-handed or right-handed hitter? I don't know what their dimensions are at that field.
Well, it's now called progressive field. It's not
Right.
Jacobs field.
Well,
anymore,
the thing about it is too. Josh Bell's a switch hitter.
Oh, can he do from both sides?
I think he's a natural left-hander, but he is a switch hitter, so he should be able to do it from both sides.
I don't know.
I don't know.
what
In the
dimensions-
derby, I just feel like you just got to go with what your strong hand is,
Yeah.
regardless of dimensions.
Well,
I
if you
mean-
get tired, turn around and hit. For the
Yeah,
other
right.
side.
I mean, if you're a good enough home run hitter, I don't see why.
Yeah, that's why I think.
Matter,
That's
you know
why I
what I'm
think.
saying?
I think that's why it favors a guy like Pete Alonso, just simply because when he hits a home run, it's
Well, here, let me look it up.
it's just
What's it?
it's
Progressive
gone.
field?
I mean, yeah, progressive field dimensions and whatever. But you can't not look at a guy like Yelich and think, holy shit, this guy's hit 31 home runs already this season. How could you not consider
All right.
him as one of the favorites as well?
So each foul pole is 325.
Wow, short porches relatively.
So right center is 375.
Okay, still a post.
Deep center is 410,
And nobody hit.
and then left center is 370.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's pretty
So
even
it's
across
pretty
the board.
even.
Yeah, it looks
Yes.
like an even field, but
So it won't favor one side of the plate or another.
No.
unless you're what's his name? Who's the one guy? Is it it's Santiago or no? Is it Ronald Acuna who's from?
The Braves.
No, it's Santana who's from the Indians.
Yeah, Cleveland. Yeah, Carlos
So,
Santana and his guitar.
Yeah,
home
he's gonna
run
hit
guy,
him.
yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna hit him with his guitar.
So he'll start singing with Nickelback again.
Oh,
And don't count out the 8th seed just because he's an 8th seed.
Yeah.
Because of the
Oh,
way
no,
this thing
no.
is set up.
Have you
I
seen
mean,
those videos of him
Yeah,
lately on social
exactly.
media just
Takes after
cranking
his
some
dad.
home
Right.
runs?
Takes
So-
after his dad.
I don't think we can count him out
Vlad
because
I had him as my sleeper.
yeah, he very well could be.
He could
Well,
be.
they're the only hope for the PMT boys. So. Right now. So
Yeah, I like that.
Could the
I don't
North
know.
win again?
Oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
okay, so
That was bad.
anything else on the MLB?
No, I think it's
Well-
lining up. I just love. I guess when you look at the All-Star game in general, number one vote getter, Mike Trout. What better ambassador to the
Oh,
game
absolutely.
than that
Oh,
guy?
absolutely.
You know, and if he's going to be your number one vote getter, Major League Baseball has to go. Thank you, Mike Trout, for doing everything that you've done as a baseball player and as a professional and everything like that. It just sets a shining example. And when you look at the level of play that you're getting from guys from the Astros, from the Red Sox in the past and the Dodgers and blah blah blah, it's just I don't know. Major League Baseball has set a precedent for performance that I think other leagues could try to copy from.
It's funny you say that because I watched something the other day, and MLB Network during the draft they started inviting the top 20 prospective draft guys to their studio when they were going to do the MLB draft. And when they did it the first year, only one guy showed up that they invited.
Wow.
And it kept going through the list, and nobody's drafting this guy. He's the only one in studio.
Wow.
He's not getting drafted. And these guys are starting to think, man, we made a mistake. It was Mike Trout.
Wow.
He's the only guy that showed up and got drafted 17th. So he was the only one that showed up and started that whole thing.
Yeah. What was his contract this last year? I don't know.
Let me get that up.
Yeah.
It's
I think
it's
he got
stupid.
Planet Mars too.
It
I
is
think
absolutely ridiculous.
He deserves every penny, if you ask me.
I want to say it's 10-year 440, but I could be wrong.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's a lot. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, he is a tremendous ambassador for his
Go
sport,
ahead and say
you
it.
can't.
We already know it's ridiculous.
12 years, 430 million.
That's it.
Let's do it.
What do you mean?
Let's do the math here on the calculator
yeah, I
because
guess
we
you
can't do
can't-
basic math right now.
440 million, huh? Okay.
35.8 mil a year.
Jeez, old man,
What?
come on now.
I'm just figuring out how many at bats we get a year.
Oh,
I don't know.
shoot, I don't know.
Average, you probably get 400 or 500 at bats. So let's just go with 500. Okay, that means the man is making
I don't even want to know because they can get it down to the pitch count and everything else.
$71,000 per at bat. 5 pitches in at bat.
He's making a
I'm
great
striking out
living
every
in the-
time, man. You can hit me, hit
Listen,
me.
every time he takes a strike, he makes 15 grand.
I got an old car worth 15 grand. Mikey, I need a new car.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I like it.
But
Definitely.
moving on,
Yeah.
speaking of Angels,
Oh,
this
man.
past week, Tyler Skaggs, one of the
Wow.
pitchers for the Los Angeles Lakers, has
how
passed
horrible is
away
that?
at a very young age of 27.
How horrible
And-
is that, man?
And it was now officially announced a couple of days ago that the
Autopsy
autopsy
won't be
overdose.
until. Well, it won't be until I thought
It won't be confirmed.
It won't be
for,
confirmed.
Is it like
for-
October?
yeah, for
I
quite
think
a
it's
while.
October.
As of right now, they say it's an overdose, though, according to
But of what?
opioids.
Oh,
Jesus.
man. You know what? This is horrible to say, but you know how professional athletes deal with pain on a regular basis, that they're going to these things to alleviate their pain and stuff like that. And that's when this kind of stuff creeps up and bites them on the ass. And the next thing you know, watching his teammates talk about the kind of guy he was and dealing with the emotions that they had to deal with the loss of a good friend. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine what those guys are going through. The fact that you find him in his room and he's unresponsive. Holy cow! I mean, what do you do? What do you do? How could you play the next day? How could you play that day or the
They
next
didn't
day?
play that day. They canceled
Right,
that
they
game.
canceled that
but
game.
you're right. To come back even a day later and try to go out there.
Yeah, 24 hours. I didn't
Right.
shake that from my mind.
Right.
And they probably all wanted to know how in the hell did this happen? Why did it happen? Blah, blah, blah. And then this flood of emotions and stuff. But when you watch them at their press conference talk about the kind of guy that Skaggs was, just horrible situation
And you're
for the
gonna
Angels.
and if it was an overdose, now you're gonna get all these naysayers and that's the part that really gets to me.
Right.
The kid whatever happened to him.
You don't know what these guys go
Right,
through.
exactly. So you're going to get all these people saying
the talking heads, those talking heads telling you why he did this or why he did that. Eat shit. That's not I don't want to hear what he did was what he did. The only reason I put it out there is because these professional athletes deal with the grind, this everyday grind, trying to perfect their craft, doing things over and over again, that it doesn't surprise me that if it was something like opioids that this happened to them. And so, what do you say? I mean,
But
it's just tragic.
Yeah, I can't say as I'm too surprised by that revelation.
yeah,
Because I'm thinking it's either that or some congenital heart thing, or you see these basketball players that are dying like that. But it's just too bad. It's a really bad thing for baseball.
And then,
unfortunately, this isn't the only death that has happened.
Oh,
this past
yeah.
week.
Jared Lorenzen.
Right.
The hefty lefty.
Hefty
Well,
left.
what is he? The all-time leading passer in yardage at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, they were talking.
Probably one of the best games, the Bluegrass Miracle against LSU, and then
Only
of course,
if they would have won that.
Yeah, only. That's why it's called a miracle by LSU, and he was an NFL quarterback as well with the Giants.
Yeah. They
Won
said
a
he was a
Super
big
Bowl ring.
teammate.
Won a Super Bowl.
Big teammate of Eli Manning's.
Eli Manning says that he's the reason why they won that Super Bowl, because without him teaching Eli Manning, dude, this is how you rattle off these guys easily. Because that play with the helmet catch, you saw Eli Manning have to take on 3 different guys and try and get him off of him.
He was
I
in the
can get
grasp.
that. Well, I can understand that.
The
But
referee
when you're
swallowed the
that
whistle.
I know.
goddamn big
It is.
versus Eli Manning,
is.
who's
Yeah,
like
they-
this,
very
who's
right.
like a twig, and
well, they
and
took-
that.
But that's what they're saying.
You know
They
what?
practice that in
But that
practice.
center of balance,
Yeah.
that you have to have when you're that big and be able to play.
Well, they were
position
talking
like
about
that.
Jared Lorenzen when he was playing, even shortly after he left Kentucky. That at one point in the NFL, he was almost 300 pounds when he was playing in the league. And then I read a story shortly after his passing that said that he had a number of health issues and that his weight had ballooned up to over 500 pounds. He was over 500 pounds at one point.
Right. The cause of death, it looks like kidney failure.
Yeah.
You know,
he
so
had
you can
some-
imagine.
I think
that
renal
the-
failure was
right.
one of the things.
The
involved
stress on
in-
those organs with that.
Man,
So.
And being that big, he probably had some circulatory system or circulatory issues and things like that. Just being that big, I don't know. Well, they said that when he was in the Arena League, when he broke his leg, and he was forced to retire after that point, that just pushed him over the edge, and that that was probably like, oh, my career is done. What am I going to do now? Let me have that. That extra sandwich, and the next thing you know, his weight. I'm just saying.
sorry, that was just funny.
I know it sounds like I'm trying to be
Why you gotta be
stupid.
like that?
But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of these guys, eating and stuff becomes a way of dealing with their issues, dealing with their problems and shit. When you don't know it, you don't see it, and the next thing you know, you're freaking 150, 200 pounds overweight. Look, I'm not the freaking skinniest guy in the world. I know what it's like to be overweight. So, and eating when you
when you have nothing else to do,
Right,
I mean,
right.
especially when you break your leg and you're like, oh my god, my
Right.
career's over. Sometimes the things that can go through your mind is, okay, well, if I'm going to retire, I can finally relax. Other things are just like, well, I'm going to eat because I have nothing else to do.
Right.
It's stuff like that.
And I don't know. I hate to say this, and this is horrible. Jared Lorenzen, for his short stay, his overnight stay in the league at this time in the NFL, he was probably, when he left and he got bigger, people didn't recognize him as a premier athlete and as an NFL quarterback. They probably didn't recognize him like that. And so when you step off of that wall or that you step through the door into unfame, it's really hard. I can see how that would wear on him, and it might not be something that would be healthy for him. But you realize where you go. I always think about this. I think about guys like Joe Montana. Joe Montana was the guy. I mean, before we start talking about Brady and all that crap, before that there was Diamond Joe. There was Joe Montana. When Joe Montana left the league, what do you think that guy looks like? What do you think he thinks about the way he is now? I mean, you see him in commercials. His shit looks old. Does he look like he can?
Well, he is freaking old.
Well, you know what I mean.
He's
when
probably
you fall
60
out
years old.
When you
I thought
fall
that's
out of
the
the
way it works
limelight,
whenever you leave.
Shit,
It's
Brady
the
looks
game
old
age.
and he's still playing.
I know, but I'm just saying that it would be really, really hard to step out of the limelight. And when you were just a player in the league for just a second, it had to be even more crushing to a guy like Jared Lorenzen. And it doesn't surprise me in the least that this hasn't happened more often to other players.
He finished up in an indoor league, didn't he?
Yeah, Arena League.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
He broke his leg in that.
Yeah, that's what I
indoor
was saying. Then that's
Right.
what's ended his career.
Right.
And that's terrible to
Northern
say.
Kentucky River Monsters, I think. Is what
Northern Kentucky.
he went home.
Find some catfish around that area. So another story that is happening this past week, though. It's a really short one. One of the Miami Dolphins players was injured very, very badly in a car crash. His name is Kendrick
He was
Norton.
driving a truck, wasn't he? I think he was driving
And-
a truck.
He had to have his arm amputated
At the scene.
At
At the
at the
scene.
scene. Oh my
Yes.
goodness!
Yeah, he was
they had to remove
pinned.
it. He was pinned. They had to remove it at the scene.
Yeah, it was a high-speed crash. I'm not
This
sure
isn't
if
like
they're
a Jason
investigating.
Pierre-Paul situation now,
No.
where he had to have his fingers.
He hit a concrete barrier.
Yeah, he had a concrete barrier.
So
going really
I don't.
fast.
I mean, I don't know a whole lot about it, but
It was in a pickup truck, right?
Right, yeah.
I thought it was a big Ford pickup truck, and he slams into a
What
concrete
the
barrier.
hell?
yeah.
Well, here's what I'm thinking, and this is just me off the top of my head. Texting. He
Well, his
fucking
girlfriend
do-
was with him.
Yeah, but
She wasn't injured too much.
Yeah,
he
but
texting then?
Yeah.
Yeah, but, right. He could have been texting anybody. He probably fucking had his phone. He was doing his thing, and the next thing you know, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that he was holding his phone. It wouldn't surprise me.
No,
In
it
this
wouldn't
day and age,
surprise
it
me.
wouldn't surprise me
Absolutely
at all.
not. It
Because
happens
if
all the
there's
time.
no if this information about how this crash hasn't boiled over yet, and they haven't explained it in great detail, it wouldn't be surprised if they are freaking going over it. The CSI guys are going over this, trying to determine what actually caused it. I'm being
got Ted
serious.
Danson
Dead
on
serious.
the scene over
Yeah,
here.
fucking,
Mark Harmon will be there.
freaking, what was his name? Peterson. What was his name?
I don't know, Peterson. You
Peterson.
said his last
No,
name.
Peterson.
I don't know.
No, that was from the Green Berets. Hey, I want my Peterson.
Was my Peterson brave?
Plus my Peterson brave. Yes, he was very brave. Yeah.
But it's just a really short topic because you never want to see your arm just have to be taken away from you.
Oh my God.
Well,
I mean, and he was
Career over. I mean,
Right.
just like he's 22.
If he's a lineman, yes, your career is
Well,
over.
It doesn't matter what he is.
Look-
He's 22 years old.
Yeah, and he was picked up.
You
from
could be
the
a kicker. Yeah, that's fine.
He was picked up from the practice squad, right?
Be a little
He got-
lopsided.
Was he? He was with
Oh,
Carolina.
right. We
He
have to kick
leans.
from the
Yeah, I
right.
was say he leans. He leans the other way. Oh shit! Here I go.
Oh, the wind's carrying me. See
That's
you later, boys.
horrible.
Hey, that is completely
horrible.
uncalled for," said the drummer from Def Leppard. Because
Tom Dempsey had half a foot.
Yeah.
He was a kicker.
And no
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah, no hand. That's
Yeah.
right.
Pierre-Paul has 2 fingers.
does he have 2 or 3?
And he's
It's
a
2 or
defensive
3.
end.
Yeah. Well,
He
that's
enjoyed
shit.
his 4th of July.
Yeah. Hey, is that lit? I'm sorry.
Shaquem Griffin. Yeah, Shaquem Griffin on the freaking Seahawks
smell
didn't even have a
burning?
hand.
He wasn't born with that. It was the
Yes,
other
he
ones.
was.
I mean,
He had to have it amputated.
No, I was talking about Jason Pierre-Paul. He wasn't
Oh,
born
no,
with
he
his,
was not born. No,
with his
He's a
fireworks.
patriot.
with his
Come on.
Fireworks.
freaking
He's
hamburger helper
celebrating
hand.
birth of this country.
Fucking hamburger helper.
Jesus.
So now that we're getting into the laughing mood,
That went from sad
That's gonna
to
be-
fucked up.
Yeah, that
in a
really did.
hurry.
Yeah.
that's going to
Wow.
be the end of the sports talk for
We
right
just
now.
lost 5 listeners.
And we're going to move on to
Hell, that's half our
Crazy.
listeners.
we're going to move on to the Crazy Horse Monument.
Oh yeah.
of
Yeah,
action
here we go.
movies.
Yeah,
Once
crazy
again,
horse.
This is the top 5 action movies that you need to see, and regardless of what you think, this is what is on the list. But this isn't in any order, once again. And the criteria for it is just we go back to olden times, just like we did last week with Blazing Saddles.
Olden times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
hate that being called
the
olden times.
whenever
Olden
the-
times. 2 people
times.
were alive when that
Yeah.
movie was made.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
but we will
Young.
go.
No.
No high
No.
five. No.
Okay, fuck you.
But we're going to talk about action movies today, and we're going to get rid of superheroes. There's not going to be any superheroes coming in. But before we get this started, though, we do have an email address that you can email us questions, so we don't have to bore you sometimes. Okay, but we love doing this regardless. But Once again, we do have an email, and we want you to send us your questions, your topics that you want us to talk about here on the show.
Hell, send us
Because
your list. If you don't think our
Yeah,
list
if you
is
don't
good
think
enough,
our list is good enough, you can eat shit. So, but our Gmail,
We'll look at it. And then
We'll
laugh
look at it
throw
and
that
then
shit
tell
away.
you to eat shit.
we'll show it. We'll put a picture on it. We'll put 2 pictures on the Twitter, and then the other picture will be a ripped piece of paper in the trash. And that'll
no,
be
I
your
thought
list.
it'd be a wipe mark from my ass. I'm just kidding.
But our email is
Unsoft.
thepubqm@gmail.com. That's thepubqm@gmail.com. I'm not going to spell it the rest. But please send us your lists, send us your questions, and let's go ahead and get right into it, though.
Yeah.
This isn't in any order, like I said.
I just have a question.
What's up?
Does Bruce Lee count as a superhero?
He can whip a superhero's ass, though.
That's what I'm talking
Guarantee it.
about.
With
Hulk
his
doesn't
speed-
stand a chance
with his
against
speed.
him.
Dude, the Hulk would be so slow compared to him.
So,
He
what
get-
was that?
Hulk, man. That would just piss the Hulk off, and he'd hammer Bruce Lee so bad. Because you got to think Bruce Lee only weighed about 170 pounds tops. He could have weighed.
That's how much Hulk shits are in the toilet.
I know. I think
shit
Hulk
Bruce
is.
Lee.
Yeah.
So, to start off the list, we have The Punisher.
Ooh.
It may not get the highest ratings, but when you boil down to this movie had a great story and a sad story as well.
Yeah, started
About-
out
Fucked
sad,
up
didn't
story.
it? Didn't it
Just
start out
messed
sad?
up. Like, it's hard to watch.
Why?
Because like his entire family got shot
I know.
or run over.
I know, by John
Like,
Travolta.
that's so messed
And
up.
some Spanish woman.
This guy used to be in Grease,
I don't know who
lightning
she
in
was.
Greece, and this man is killing people in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
The Punisher, I love it. I just love that whole persona that good triumphs over evil. And, I keep saying John Travolta, but he doesn't come across as a great villain, but he was a prick in this movie.
yeah, he was. He played it perfectly.
Yeah, Thomas Jane.
Well,
I
he's
loved
just got
him as
that. I don't know how to say. He's just like
He's got that persona.
he's
about
got
him
that
in this
persona where he's just like, I know I'm right, and you can suck it. Like this is what like I'm in charge, and you know I'm.
Well,
in
one of the
charge.
greatest lines from that movie, one of the greatest lines is when he's getting ready to leave the islands after he gets healed up, and the guy who was with him says, "Vio con Dios." What's his name? Castle. Vio con Dios Castle, and he goes, God's gonna sit this one out. And he goes, make no mistake, it's not about retribution or anything like that. It's about punishment. And I was like, yeah, that's freaking awesome. And then he goes in and grabs his father-in-law's weapons, and the guns, they're like the perfect weapon for him to wield and everything. And then he goes back and you see the comic relief that takes place with John Panette and the other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Becca remains Stamos. Oh my goodness.
And so you also
Except for when she smokes, that just gets
Yeah.
me. When she's sewing and she's smoking, give me a break.
it's a sad life that he does have to live without his family, because you see his apartment. His apartment, I would not want his fucking apartment because it's
It looks like a
literally-
garage.
Exactly. It's got
looks like an auto
tools and
body
guns
shop. Yeah,
everywhere.
right.
And then I would also not like to live there because a big ass Russian just comes in the door and just starts beating up people for some reason.
How about when he hits the floor? The big Russian hits the floor and his neck's turned around the wrong way. It's like freaking the Punisher surfed him down the stairs. Holy shit! Was that awesome? What I wanted to say also about the Punisher is the scene when he's eating his breakfast in the cafe the one morning, and Harry Heck comes in and he sings him that song. I just love that song. I wish we could pull that up and play that. But Harry Heck from the Punisher, when he's having breakfast, and Thomas Jane is sitting there as Frank Castle, and he's eating his breakfast. He's eating his breakfast like he's trying to punish the breakfast. Like those some
I'm gonna
bitch and
cut
pancakes.
Well, what was
Well,
on?
this
Well,
plate
let me ask you
here.
this: what was on the plate?
I don't know,
Pancakes.
and I think,
then you punish pancakes.
and yeah,
Absolutely.
and
you don't.
eggs and sausage probably too. How could you be a Punisher and not want eggs and sausage with your pancakes? You can't be half a sis.
You can't kill on an empty stomach. You just can't.
Will Patton was in that movie too. Will Patton, the coach from, played the coach with Denzel. And Remember the
and
Titans?
Remember the
Yeah,
Titans.
yeah. Oh,
he's
he
right hand.
played the-
Yeah, he's right hand man.
He played the
Travolta's
fat
right-hand
guy
man.
who, and he goes, "I made you kill your best friend at the end. I made you kill your wife. Made you kill your best friend."
Yep.
Oh man, Punisher definitely 2004.
Right.
I like it. I in terms of action, I like it.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, oh,
It's up
sorry
there.
about that.
No, go right ahead.
So we're gonna go ahead and go back even further than that to the very earliest movie that we have here on our list, First Blood, and it's
Classic.
we talked about this in our first
Classic.
episode, John Rambo versus John Wick.
Yeah.
And this
Rambo would have whipped his ass. I'm sorry.
Bullshit.
You're the only
Anyway,
one.
go
You're,
on.
yeah, he's
Stop
the
it.
only one who's still on here who
Stop
still
it.
You
says
guys don't
Rambo.
even know. He can fly $1 million gunships.
Well, two people knew more.
And now he
better
can't
than you.
even get a job parking cars. And you guys keep thinking that shit.
But First Blood, no question. Sylvester Stallone is a badass, no question.
1982.
And Sylvester Stallone played. I remember watching
One of those
this movie.
what is his name? Dino De Laurentiis movies or whatever.
Are you telling me that 200 of our men against your boy is a no-win situation for us? You send that many? Don't forget one thing.
A
What?
good-
A good amount of body bags.
a good supply of body bags? What does he say? He says, "What in God's name? What possessed God to make a man like Rambo?" And then freaking Colonel Troughton comes and says, "God didn't make Rambo. I did."
Yeah, Richard Crenna.
Yeah.
The great
Yeah.
Richard
But
Crenna.
I
The
recruited
story-
him. I commanded him. I trained him. I commanded him in Vietnam.
The story of Rambo is that he is a war veteran that has come home, and he's come through this small little town.
He's coming to see his one friend, his friend, one of the last guys, one of the last
Yeah.
remaining guys in his unit.
And for some reason, this cop, who is the chief of police here in this small town, has a hard-on for trying to get Rambo just a hard time.
he thinks Rambo's a vagrant, and so
Okay,
he gets a
yes.
little. He wants to bust him basically for vagrancy, and that becomes out in the line. He goes, "That's going to look good on his headstone in Arlington." John Rambo, survivor of countless incursions behind enemy lines, winner of the Congressional Medal of Honor, busted for vagrancy in Jerkwater, USA. And then you think to yourself, yeah, how do you do that? How do you do? I mean, he goes to see Delmore Berry. I remember the name. He goes to see Delmore Berry, and Delmore Berry, who contracted cancer while he was over there, that Agent Orange stuff ate him to the bone, didn't even know it was happening. All that stuff comes down, and then you just see Rambo's all deflated about, first of all,
Yeah.
finding Delmore Berry. He was excited about it, and then he walks into town, and then he runs into the chief of police. And the chief of police has, like you said, a freaking hard on for him and wants to take him down. And
it was the worst decision you could have ever made.
yeah. You picking a well? How does the sheriff?
You're picking
know?
a fight with Rocky here, man. You're not really going to win much.
Yeah, how did he not look like? You look like Rocky? How did he not pick that up? Yeah, but Brian Dennehy plays the local sheriff.
Yes, he does.
And he plays a good prick in the movie. And one of the greatest scenes in there is when they go to arrest him, and they're trying to fingerprint him, and they're trying to do all the things as they book him and get him in jail. And the one guy's name is Galt, and Galt has an even bigger hard-on for Rambo because Rambo doesn't want to do what he's supposed to do. And one of the things is he's going to get shaved, right? And and the one guy looks at him and he's putting a straight razor on the leather. He's like, he goes, "Don't fight it. I don't want you to cut your own throat." And he pulls up the razor, and then all of a sudden, freaking Rambo has a flashback, and he's thinking like the freaking Asian guy going, and he freaking cuts him on the chest, and that freaking sends Rambo through the freaking rafters, and he starts whipping people's ass. And from that moment on, he's on the run for the next hour and a half of that movie. And he's just kicking ass and every time. And one of my favorite lines, and I'm sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking, sorry fans,
Nah, go right
but I'm
ahead.
talking. But one of my favorite lines is when they're in the woods,
Yep.
and he jacks Brian Dennehy up against
Let it
his
go.
name was Will Teal, and he jacks him up and he goes, "Let it go," and he freaking goes,
go.
"Drop it," and he says, "I could have killed him. I
Coulda
could have killed them all. In the town, you're the law. Outside here, it's me." And he says, don't push it, or I'll give you a war you won't believe. And I was like, oh, man. And he just freaking kicks ass.
And he's wearing camouflage too, like
Right.
he's hidden, and it's like, all right, you can have it. I'll see you later.
Yeah. Well, at one point, when the guy comes up to you and he puts a knife up to your throat and he says, drop it or put it down, and you don't go, okay. And I just had a little peek. I
just sharted in my pants. I
I'm
thought it was a
sorry.
fart, but
I'm
it wasn't.
sorry. And a little pee came out because it just scared the shit out of me. Yeah, great
So-
movie. I
With
you know
another
what?
one coming out. With
You know,
another Rambo coming
with
out.
The last
another
one.
very good
Another
call.
one.
I think the
coming
final
out.
Rambo is
I
coming
think
out.
it's called Last Blood, is it?
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
it
Last
is. You know, so first to last. I'm not gonna kick this off the mountain. And along with Pardon My Take has the Mount Rushmore of their list. And we wanted a list, but we wanted a big mountain as well. And we got one that's not quite complete. So we chose Mount Crazy Horse. And if you've ever seen the Crazy Horse Mountain where they're carving that freaking
This thing is going to be
the
huge.
statue of Crazy Horse, now out in the Dakotas, absolutely incredible. Just like our show's unfinished, so we're going to use Mount Crazy Horse or Crazy Horse Mountain to,
Yeah, I
to
said
add
that
this.
in the intro.
Mount
of
Crazy
this
Horse.
segment.
Yeah, I'm thinking First Blood's got to sit on Mount Crazy Horse.
So number 3 that we have here on the list,
My goodness.
Terminator 2.
Oh,
We're going Terminator 2. Arnold. We have to put Arnold.
get to the
on there.
chopper.
Hasta la vista, baby.
We have to put Arnold Schwarzenegger in not just any old movie. This is Terminator 2.
Yeah.
Terminator 1 was great. It
Yes,
was.
it
It had
was.
a lot of action.
But Terminator 2
But
took it to
Term-
another level.
Terminator 2 is James Cameron action.
And
okay?
you can't go wrong
And
with James Cameron.
what this movie did is that even when I was a little kid, I could still watch it and
Were
go.
you ever a little kid? I don't remember.
When I watched this movie,
I wouldn't take that shit.
I remember
he's
bringing
on the
him
other
up from
side of the
hospital.
table. I don't feel like hitting him. But
Don't bump the power cord. Holy shit, we'll get a buzzing going.
but
Oh, that's you. Getting a buzzing going.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
the thing is that this movie, shut the hell up.
Eat shit.
This movie, Arnold played. He played not the killer this time. He played a different role in the model 001.
No, 101.
101.
Model
Instead of
101.
instead of Model
Cyberdyne
100.
Systems Model 101.
And it was the difference between the first one where it was the T100 and this was the T101, and he was basically the good guy.
The T100 had rubber skin. We could pick them out easy.
Yeah, sure. But you didn't realize that you were going to have to go up against like a 6'5" Austrian bodybuilder.
That's a robot and can just be like, oh, my arm's gone. Not anymore.
And this movie had such good action because the enemy, oh my goodness, the T1000 that he was going up against.
just
this,
played so well. I
Yeah.
mean, like he had like this aroma about him that was just kind of
Aroma? An aura?
aura.
Aura.
He might have had an aroma too.
Jesus
well,
Christ.
he's
just,
metal. He
Might
doesn't
have,
have.
well, he might have.
Well, he had that thing called Big Ass Beers from Dick's Last Resort there, so.
But
You can't kill a man. You can't kill a man to hang. Wait. You can't kill a man born to hang.
but
good
back
thing
to
I'm
what
not
I
an
was
English
saying is
major.
It's
that
down in
Jesus
Texas,
Christ.
I think.
is that
Dick's Last
John
Resort.
Connor. This is more about John Connor now because you finally get to see who he is. You don't see him in the first movie, of course. In the second one, you see him, and he's probably the main character along with Arnold. In
The
Hamilton.
young guy, the young John Connor, yeah.
The young, yeah.
What was his name? Shoot.
Let me look it up.
Edward Furlong?
Edward Furlong, yes, yes.
Yeah. And what you get in this movie is kind of a sentimental movie in some aspects, where the T101 Arnold, he gets to know John a little bit more, and I mean he is a robot.
He's
so he doesn't
programmed to know
yeah.
who he is, so there's a little more of an attachment there and stuff.
You get
like
a little
that.
bit more emotion than just some robot man coming to try to kill
And
you.
it starts
you know?
right
It's
out
not-
the gate too. Once Arnold hits the ground, he goes into the bar and he's
Oh, yeah.
naked. He's just naked because
Bad
that's how he
enough.
comes onto the earth. And he goes right into a biker bar and just gets the coolest outfit that I still love to this day. He's got the leather jacket, the leather pants on.
The
Well, I don't
sunglasses.
like the leather
He gets the
pants.
sunglasses from that big dude with the freaking shotgun, and he
Yeah,
goes,
he just pulls them out of his jacket and
"Don't make
puts
me
them-
put you down. I can't let you take the man's ride." And he walks right up to him, and then he snatches the sunglasses right out of his hands. Yeah,
And
and
then-
played by George Thorogood's "Bad to the Bone." You couldn't have
Yeah,
that
and
opening sequence when that starts, you couldn't have had a better thing, and it didn't stop from there. I mean, it just rolled from
when
there.
you see John Connor running away from the T-1000, and then you see Arnold coming down the hallway, and he's already like, no, there's two of them after me. And then you just see Arnold. He's holding a rose box, and he flips it up, and he has a shotgun in it, and he just shoots a shotgun at the T-1000.
Well, no, Sarah's there with, she sees him, and she's immediately flashes
scared.
back to
She's immediately terrified.
to the back one, and he puts his big old freaking Austrian hand out, and he goes, "Come with me if you want to live." And she's like, "Oh shit, I guess I will.
Okay.
I guess I'll go with
Yeah.
him." Right?
But this
And then
movie-
he has that freaking giant lever action.
Yeah, it's
shotgun.
exactly. It's like a model. He just.
Yeah.
But this movie also had some good comedy though out
Yeah.
on it,
Oh,
because
yeah.
he plays a funny robot at sometimes where like he'll go like "Hasta la vista, baby," and
Yeah,
then
where
like
he's
John will
hard.
be like, "No, you gotta say it later, dickwad," and he goes, "Later, dickwad." So he'll say it back to him, and then also
You
he's
can't
One of the
go
ones that I
around
really
killing
like-
everyone. Why? Because you can't. Why?
it's like, "Why did you hurt me?" Because you told me.
Because
to.
you told me to.
That was it. But then you get that from John, who starts to like him. And in
Yeah.
the final battle, whenever you see the two duke it out, of course, because that's what everyone wants to see. Arnold has a grenade launcher that I still remember. It's like a China Lake or something like that. And you see that Arnold is basically just half a robot. He
He's
doesn't
all
have any
chewed
legs.
off. He's got one arm chewed
Yeah.
off.
Is he
And
dead?
And he
Terminated.
yeah, and he comes up the freaking conveyor belt with one arm just holding it out, and the T-1000 looks at him, and he just blasts him into the lava.
And then when you see the thing hit him, it goes bloop, and it hits the guy, and then he goes into the liquid
Yeah.
freaking steel. And then, of course, Arnold,
But it's like
Arnold ends up
But
in
it's
this.
a great mixture of just badass. It's classic, but then you get like an emotional side to it. So
Yeah,
like you get connected
There
with
was
the
a
characters.
There's
into
a
it.
very cool section in the middle where they go to Cyberdyne and they go to this.
you start
they go,
to learn more about
right.
what
They
is
start
going
piecing
on.
together a bunch of stuff, and so that when you look at the Terminators after number 2, they're kind of disjointed,
Yeah,
and they
they
try
just-
to add in all this
yeah.
extra stuff.
Yeah, it
and
gets
you're
tough
like,
to follow.
Yeah,
It
and
gets
you're
to the
like-
point where you're like, I don't even know what's going
How
on.
many
But
times have you gone back, John? Jesus.
and
Right.
they're
Right.
making
They go to-
another
They
one.
go to Cyberdyne Systems, and the one guy tells them about how the chip was there and how they created this stuff. And
Right.
so there's a great sequence in there where Sarah Connor is teaching her son, and Arnold's in the same situation, and they tear the shit out of that one building, and the explosions that go off as they attack the Cyberdyne building, and that just. What a great movie!
And then finally, the ending scene of where you see the Terminator. Of course, he's holding his thumbs up as he's going down into the liquid
Right, because you
steel.
can't catch it. You can't recover them. You just can't.
Exactly.
You know.
And so that was a very heartfelt goodbye from him. But
Yeah.
yeah. So Terminator 2, it belongs on that mountain, of course, no question.
Right. I think it's up there.
Arnold
it's gotta
is,
be.
That's where he made his mark, I feel, with that movie. Of course, you have movies like Conan. You have movies that he did a lot of the time. But this
Well, the
one takes
first-
the cake.
the
Twins.
Twins.
Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. Yeah, there you go.
Shut up!
Kindergarten Cop. Where the hell did our show go to? It just took a left turn.
Yes,
into-
it did.
We're focused
Holy
on blowing
cow.
shit up
Straight
and
to
killing
shit
people.
belt.
We fell down the ditch that you did that one night when you were all hammered.
Oh, no, you didn't.
So next on our list is the one that everyone here,
The winner.
the old guys seem to like,
yeah.
Die Hard.
Absolutely.
And here's the thing though, is that I like all the Die Hard movies. Personally, I'm a fan of the third one, Die Hard with a Vengeance, because I like them running around New York City.
Oh, that's
Samuel L.
the-
Jackson
Samuel Jackson,
definitely
yeah.
does.
Yes,
He
and
does
I like
add
that.
a bunch of
That's
that.
just me. But we're talking about the first one because it is
Yippee
good.
ki motherfucker.
Yeah, that's where we get introduced to him, and we also get
John
introduced
McClane.
to his like. And now I have a shotgun. Ha.
No,
ha, oh,
and
ho,
now-
ho.
And now I have a machine gun.
Oh,
Ho,
I thought it
ho,
was a shotgun.
ho.
My fault. But
So,
John
hey.
McClane is the head cop. Now, he's actually from New York, but
Right.
he's a cop coming to visit his wife. And he
who
comes
works
to
for Nakatomi Plaza.
Nakatomi.
Yeah,
The
she works at
Nakatomi Plaza.
Yep.
They come to the building. I want to get one of those T-shirts. If you haven't seen that, it's called the 1988 Nakatomi Christmas Party. I want to get one of those shirts. All it says, it's a red shirt, has the building on the front of it, and it says Nakatomi Christmas 1988.
Yeah.
And they go to the Nakatomi Plaza, and it gets overrun when John McClane isn't even there. He's off doing something else.
He's getting changed.
Yeah.
Because there's a Christmas party.
And it gets overrun by Hans Gruber and his gang of thugs that come there to steal the money and the shares that are in the vault bonds that are in the vault.
$600 million worth of bearer bonds.
Bearer bonds,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
And so you get this whole movie of John McClane, who is Bruce Willis, by the way, and it goes through John trying to fight his way to get back to his wife because she is at the party and they need to save everyone who's at the party.
Well, once the shooting goes, he begins to scramble because cop mode kicks in, and then he.
Give me my detonators.
Nowhere to run. Next time you see me, don't hesitate. And he shoots him through the table, and I'm like, oh, he didn't hesitate. And he's like, thanks for the information. And you
Just
get those
another
cheesy
American-
lines.
Let's not
Cowboy.
forget Sergeant Al Powell. Out
Yeah,
there.
oh my God. Oh,
Played-
the one of the
Al,
ones
it's Al, isn't
Yeah,
it?
Al Powell.
Al Powell.
Yeah.
going to get some donuts or at the freaking
Twinkies.
Twinkies,
They get
sorry.
Twinkies.
At the gas station, and he comes in and he sees Nakatomi Plaza, and he gets rained on fire by freaking RPGs from the window.
Well, no, it's a dude falling out of the freaking window. He gets thrown out the window and lands on the front of his car. Plus, they shoot up the front of his car. And he goes, I need backup. Now, goddammit, now. And then his car crashes on a hill. And then he's
and he
like,
keeps going, yeah, exactly.
he's got a little cut on his head. And he's like, if the guy who said, he starts trying to connect with John McClane in the building and everything. And the one thing my wife she really hates this part of the movie where the guy from Breakfast Club comes in. The one lieutenant comes in and he's like, I don't know, but he strikes me. He's not exactly LAPD, but he's definitely a badge. My wife hates that.
Why?
I don't know, because he used the term badge instead of just saying, I don't know, he might not be LAPD, but he's definitely a police officer.
Dwayne
He's
T.
definitely-
Robinson.
Dwayne T.
Oh, I hope that's not a hostage.
Yeah, you get some funny lines.
Well,
there.
I wasn't the one who got butt fucked on national TV, Dwayne.
Take a couple of laughs. We'll get together. Have a few laughs.
He had a
I'll
couple
tell
of
you what.
great lines.
I'll tell you
he had
what.
a couple of-
Yippee-ki-yay.
We're going to need some more FBI guys, I think. When those helicopters go down.
Yeah. But it's a whole movie of action, though, still, because you get John who's fighting all these guys.
Yeah.
And then finally you get to see a great ending where he's holding on to Hans Gruber's hand and he falls right out. And if you don't see any of the other movies, in the third movie, his brother is the one who comes after John McClane.
You know, one of the best scenes in there is when
Jeremy
he
Irons.
kills Carl. Carl with the chains.
Oh,
Yeah,
around his neck.
yeah.
At the end, and then Carl comes out
Carl
at the
comes
end.
back, yeah.
And Al Powell shoots him.
Yep.
Bang, bang.
Yeah.
At the end.
Yep.
John McClane's covered in blankets,
So, according to the old men at this table,
Can't
they
beat
believe
it.
that this
Cannot
one
beat
has
it.
to be up there.
Yeah,
and
cannot
I
beat
can
it.
see that, but I think that the final one on this list is my favorite action movie. The final movie on this list is John Wick. And and for some reason,
folks.
and for some reason, this is just me, but I may not be an old timer, but I'm 24, okay. But John Wick, I did not see it when it came out, but years after it did come out,
His father showed it to
the first time I ever saw it, I got chills whenever I heard the speech about who John Wick is.
yeah,
And we
that's a
talked about
great
this in
line.
our first episode, of course, about who would win between Rambo and Wick. And
Of course,
don't say
Rambo.
anything.
Sean Wick.
Shut your face. Shut
No,
your
but
face.
you're right. That quote. John
Yeah.
is a man of focus, commitment, and sheer fucking will.
And just the fact that this movie is about Keanu Reeves, who isn't I don't want to say he's a terrible actor, but he's not the best actor. And so when you see this movie,
But that's what makes him good about it, is that he
He's
doesn't
been
have
pretty-
to speak all
He's
that
been pretty
much.
typecast in the roles he does. I mean,
Yeah.
this is the kind of thing he does. He does it well, I think.
But I think
Yeah,
the best
exactly.
part about this movie, and it's my opinion, and I think this is where I think John Wick takes a step above Rambo, is that his backstory is just overall better because you learn the fear and just how
The fear
how
of what the characters
determined-
have.
how
yeah.
determined John Wick actually is, and the skill that he has, and he knows he has it.
And it continues through all the movies
It
as well.
continues like that. Just that feeling of, oh my God, that's John Wick. Like, that dude's a bad mofo.
And you learn it once the Vigo's son takes Yusuf, he takes the car to the garage and the guy goes, "Where did you get this car?" And he's like, "Stole it off some fucking nobody." He's like, "Get it out of here now." It's like, "What do you mean?" And then of course he calls his dad. His dad calls him because he hits him, and he goes, "Why did you hit my son?" And he goes, "It's because he stole John Wick's car, sir, and killed his dog." And all you hear is, "Oh." And of course, he beats his son up, the Vigo, he beats his son up and saying, "It's not what you did, son, that angers me so. It's who you did it to." He's like, "What? Who? The fucking nobody?" And he goes,
That fucking nobody is John Wick.
and then he goes through
They
the whole
call
story.
him Baba Yaga.
And he goes, "The boogeyman?" He goes, "Well, John wasn't exactly a boogeyman. He was the one you sent to kill the fucking boogeyman." And like that whole backstory. And then once you start getting into the action, the nightclub scene is one of the best because the music that's going on in the background, while he's just stabbing guards in the chest, and also he stabs one right in the mouth and he stares him down as he pulls him onto the ground.
Well,
I'm like,
what I love about him is that he doesn't say much, but what he says is very relevant, and it again goes back to who he is.
Yeah.
Because like it's so simple, but it's so badass because it's so simple. So like another example is this: it's Vigo is talking and goes, "They know you're coming," and he just says, "Of course," but it won't matter.
and then
It's like,
towards-
are you serious? Like they could
Exactly.
send 100 men to go kill you and give him a couple pistol rounds, and he'll shoot every one of them in the fucking head. And
he's killed his kill count
In a
has
suit.
to be in the triple digits in these movies. No
but here's the
question.
thing. So Rambo, can get all camouflage and paint his face and go all. John Wick's wearing a fucking suit in cities. So,
Okay,
how do you jump around and dive around and do all this other shit with a suit?
yeah, and regardless of what we do think, though, I do believe that Die Hard has to be at the top of this list.
Yep.
No question. I have to agree with the old guys at the table.
Only
no
because
question.
it's older.
But I have no question. The Crazy Horse Monument, all these movies deserve to be up there, and I believe that Die Hard deserves to be number one. And so, at the end of this segment, though, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to introduce our new friends of the show to go over the last segment of this show, the Six Beers segment. So we'll be right back after this short, quick message from Duvel.
Hey fans, this week we went to Total Wines in Gainesville, Virginia to select this week's new taste testers for our Six Beers segment, and we met a new friend of the show. Never one to walk away from a great free taste test. We met Jamar Henderson of Duvel USA. Duvel is the parent company for Omegang Brewery in Cooperstown, New York, and Boulevard Brewing in Kansas City, Missouri. We sampled a very nice Saison DuPont, quite possibly the benchmark in Saisons, which was smooth, lightly sweet, and had a wonderful, lightly golden color. 6.5% alcohol by volume. Very, very nice tasting beer. We also tested Recorder Lake's premium ciders. We tried passion fruit and strawberry lime, and all we could say was wow. Light, refreshing, and full of flavor. So if you're in the neighborhood and you find a Total Wines, stop in and pick up a 6-pack or 4-pack of your favorite flavors.
Okay, we are back now once again. Thank you for being patient, and thank you for that great promo by Duvel and Jamar Henderson once again. We are now going to round out the show with our Six Beer segment. Of course, the old man
This is the
loves
The
it.
best part. I'm
The
so
coach's
excited.
look forward
favorite
to it.
segment.
This is the best
coach's
part.
favorite segment.
So let's go ahead and get into it, Coach. Take us away here.
In honor of my man, the Buzz Man here.
Oh my God, our
and it-
music.
and it's yes, we. What
I
are
knew
we
something
not
was
thinking?
freaking missing.
Well, I must start over.
Wait, what's that
Porno
even
music
called?
going on.
Brewery jazz.
Our beer porno
We're making. Yep.
should be getting
So
going.
we're gonna go ahead and make some love to this beer now.
Yeah. All right. So let's start off with this week's 6 beers from the Millennial Batch. in honor of Major League Baseball's All-Star Game, we have Batting 1,000 Beltway Brewing. It's a red lager, 4.8% alcohol by volume. It's brewed and canned in the Beltway Brewing Company in Sterling, Virginia.
I love that. I
Look at the
love the
can.
wrap
Oh,
around,
you gotta
around
look
that
at
can.
that.
It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
That's very-
That's badass right there.
Yes, it is. It's almost like it's a seam. It's a paper seam over top of the
Oh,
can.
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very.
open that bad boy up. Let's get to it.
Listen to that. Oh, wait a minute. You hear that?
Oh,
Oh shit.
I got a little ricochet.
Oh,
but
it
that's
smells.
okay.
It's okay. You well,
Oh,
you can
my.
take one off the
That's
chin,
naughty.
son.
It's a little darker than I thought it was
Get-
gonna be.
Get that music going there, my brother. Oof. Oh, it's a red lager. Red lager.
Oh, yeah.
Beltway Brewing, Sterling, Virginia. Get that beer porno going.
Nice head.
Yes.
It's not very strong aroma-wise.
It's not say that in the best of ways.
Batting 1,000 Beltway Brewing Red Lager. Let's have
Cheers.
at it, fellas. Oh, what a wonderful aroma.
That's not bad.
Can we get that volume up a little bit? Just
That's
a
not
little
bad.
bit? Not a strong
What does that
taste.
taste like?
Not a strong taste. Not
No,
over the top powerful.
Exactly. Doesn't have a real big bite to it at the end.
No.
Not
really
like most
it.
red lagers do.
Right.
Yeah, and it finishes well.
It does finish well.
Smooth.
It doesn't have a lot of aftertaste, which is nice.
Yep,
It doesn't
always,
sit in
always.
your mouth. It crisp, smooth.
Not going to sit in my mouth. Going right down
And
the
it's
gullet.
not, and it's a red lager, but it's not a dark red lager
No.
either. And it makes you wonder. That's a 16-ounce can. Can we freaking hammer 16-ounce cans like Bud Lights? I think
don't
you could
think
do
so.
that. You don't think so?
Not me.
Well,
Well, you just
bumped
haven't
your
been
damn
around
head.
that long.
You,
Yeah.
wait till you get old and grizzled.
It's okay, youngin. It's okay.
It's the only reason I got to this age.
Yeah,
was
you're
hammering
muted for the
16
rest
ounce.
of the show.
I like it.
I feel it's
I
hard
like
to
it. I like it. So once again, Batting 1,000 Beltway Brewing.
Good
It's
start.
a red lager from the Millennial Batch.
We are batting 1,000.
Go ahead. All right. Well, we'll start it out here in the middle.
Let's
and then
throw
see
that
where we
out
go.
there.
Good
Let's
start,
put
though.
it out there on the stage.
Pretty good start.
Get it on the stage. Let me get my stuff out of the way.
Good start.
Good start.
Get my
What I tell you about
Trying to-
messing with the script?
trying to get my notes out of the way there. We don't need any notes.
Knock,
I don't
knock.
need no stinking notes.
Who knew all these things were available?
too
in the
stupid
great-
to script.
In the old Dominion.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
It's like 4 words on my paper.
I'll tell you what.
The hell?
Like we did earlier with our commercial break when we went down to Total Wines. What a great selection of stuff, all labeled so that you could find what you were looking for. And once we spent some time, we spent just a tad under an hour in this show.
Yep.
We bought the next 3 weeks worth of beers for our show. Excuse me, folks. I'm sorry, but
Don't be sorry about that. Now we're at a
you know
pub now.
what?
It's a testament to the taste.
Amen.
What a great selection! Meeting Jamar Henderson there. What a very nice guy. The people there. We got our what did they call that? Our the card we got that I signed up.
Oh, you got a
for.
royalty type card.
Yeah,
Yeah, get your-
1%
Right.
back on
Yeah,
everything like that. So I think we're gonna probably put that to the test right here. All right, so we got another one. I'm not sure that this is appropriate. Well, with the music, it's okay. It's called Licking Hole Creek, and it's a Virginia-grown strawberry
Christian Yelich
Hefeweizen.
wins that thing. We know what's going on.
Licking Hole Creek.
Licking Hole
What the
Creek.
fuck is that? Is that a dragon or something on the?
It's like a crest. Yeah, it's called Strawberry Hefeweizen, and it's definitely more than a heavy.
Is it a cider or a beer?
It's a beer. It's a
Strawberry.
yeah, it's a Hefeweizen.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Where's it come from?
There's a lot of words on
Everywhere
that
and nowhere.
label there.
I can't
It's
see
not like
it.
it's hold back.
I
Well,
can't
here, let me
see
see.
it. I got terrible eyesight.
Come here, old
It's
man.
from
Let me
Virginia.
get
It's
the
all
can.
from Virginia.
All right, Licking Hole Creek.
It's down there at the bottom, right there on the side there. But it's a great presentation, except for where they're writing.
I think we're getting
It's
ready
from
to watch
Goochland,
Roseanne
Virginia.
here.
Yeah.
Goochlands. Let's
Goochland,
pour-
Virginia.
Well,
So
there's
it's
John Goodman.
5.5% alcohol. I don't see the IBUs on here.
No. What is a Hefeweizen?
Little stronger than the
For the
other
love
one.
of God,
Little
man, crack it open.
Oh, wait a minute.
We're not here for a damn history lesson here.
I'm sorry,
This
you
from
fucking
Goochlands,
alcoholics.
Virginia.
Holy cow.
Ooh, great
Goochland.
color.
Ooh, nice color.
This is great
Nice.
color. This is a strawberry Hefeweizen. Very nice.
It's
I'm
got a
not sure-
color of like a wheat beer.
Yeah, it's definitely a craft brewery. It's a strawberry Hefeweizen from Licking Hole Creek. Licking Hole Creek.
Ooh,
Relates
that's
to the music.
It's very citrusy when you smell it.
Not getting the strawberry.
I'm not getting a strawberry either. I'm not
I'm getting
getting it.
citrus, but it doesn't taste like strawberry.
Getting some asshole.
I'm getting some whole.
Oh, I'm getting.
I don't mind it.
No, I don't mind it. I'm
No,
just,
that's
I'm, waiting-
not-
I'm
I'm not
waiting for
feeling
the
this-
strawberry to kick in. And I'm like,
Here,
yeah,
does anybody want a
say.
little more? Give it another shot. There's a little bit more.
maybe
in
the
here.
strawberry's at the fucking bottom. Yeah.
Is there a tub of red?
It's
at
like,
the bottom
it's
of
like
the
a
can?
cereal box. Where's
Wait
the
a
toy?
minute.
Where's the toy?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I think you have to add your own.
Once you take that last swallow, trying to push that through your nose a little
Only
bit,
very
and
slightly.
you'll get a little sense
Oh,
of
it's
strawberry.
good. I like
It's
the taste
very
of it.
slight.
Yeah.
Oh, let's put
It's
that up there.
citrusy, but I don't.
Licking Hole
strawberry
Creek.
is very
Strawberries
light.
aren't citrus anyway, but I'm still not getting the fruit flavor that I would like.
They lied to us, just like the government. All right, on to the
So-
next beer.
I still would put batting 1,000 ahead of that
Batting
one.
1,000. Oh, and in honor of my boy Patrick here, we went porter last week.
Oh, yeah.
And we had a lot with the Port City Porter, which
Oh,
was
that was
really, really good.
delicious. So
this
smooth.
is Raven's Roost Baltic Porter, and from Parkway Brewing Company. And this is with a robust and roasty Malta aroma. Raven's Roost Baltic Porter has notes of chocolate, caramel, and toffee. Very nice.
Where's that one from? Got to be from Baltimore. Ravens Roost. The fuck is
It says Parkway Brewing.
All right,
Parkway
Steelers
Brewing
fan. It's
Company.
okay. It's okay.
I can't.
You're a bird fan too, so you can stop
Raven's
it.
Roost is from
Just the
Salem,
right
Virginia.
bird.
Salem.
Salem, Virginia.
The bird
Salem,
of
Virginia.
freedom.
Parkway Brewing.
Super Bowl champs.
Parkway Brewing. Here we
Salem,
go. So
Virginia.
this is called
Right
Raven's
outside
Roost
of
Porter.
Roanoke.
Oh, look at
Oh
that.
my God, it's like just pouring a
It's
friggin'
darker
punch
than that other
drink.
porter.
Yeah. Well, it's motor
It's a
oil.
lot.
It's
Hopefully it
motor oil.
don't taste like motor oil.
Pour
It's
too
not,
heavy
as,
because
it's, it's not as very. It's not as thick. But let me have Let me have a little taste of that.
that's definitely opaque.
Not over the top. I can smell it
Yeah,
right
it's
away.
definitely I
you can
can't see through right now.
You can definitely smell the roasted,
yep.
the definitely roasted smell to it. Raven's Roost, Salem, Virginia. It's called the Baltic Porter.
Wow.
A little stronger than the Port City port.
That's a lot stronger, I feel.
See, I don't get the big time strong feeling.
No, I don't. I got.
It's a
lot of chocolate.
I'm about to say it's very roasted.
like roasted, maybe a coffee or a toffee and some chocolate.
It's bitter. It's bitter, but it's not over the top.
You know what? One of
They
the
start
great
making this in
places.
K-cups,
One
I'm
of the
in.
great places
That's
that's nearby
really
is a little place, a little tiny place in Middletown, Virginia called Nana's Irish Pub. And Nana's Irish Pub mixes a half and half. And what they basically do is they use a stout.
Oh, it's
a
naughty.
Guinness stout, and I can see a porter doing this as well. And they mix it with Harp Ale, and they make a half and half. And I'll tell you what, that's a fine beer. And with the way this beer has a little bit of a chocolatey,
Oh,
kind
shit,
of a
that would-
roasted, kind of a nutty kind of flavor.
It's roasted beautifully.
Yeah, that's a good beer.
That's
It's a
like
good beer. I don't know that
great.
I could have more than a couple, but it's
Yeah.
that's not bad for a dark beer like that.
That is very good.
Makes you kind of wonder what you could sit down and eat with that. You know what I mean?
Something light.
It was like fish,
Something light.
chicken,
Yeah, something
chicken.
light. You
I,
don't
we
wanna go
got
heavy with
wings
that.
coming. Wings coming.
Oh, you
Well,
drink- I
okay,
drink
so
anything
let me
with
say this.
wings.
So,
All right.
so I personally, I would put it ahead of the butthole beer there.
The
and then
Hefeweizen?
Yeah.
That's licking hole.
But
We're not going to put
Is it
down
better than
anybody
the-
who's brewing beers around here. And we're
is it better
sampling them.
than batting 1,000?
I say no, but that's the baseball in me.
No. No, because they're two different kinds of beers
Right.
too. I
Yeah,
mean,
we're
you're talking
comparing
about,
apples to oranges here.
Yeah. So we're not.
And the apples are a lot bigger
so
than
nothing's
the
beating
oranges.
batting 1,000 right now. Batting 1,000 still out on top.
All right.
what do we
Mustang Sally Brewing is the original lager. It's called Golden Lager Mustang Sally. This is in Chantilly, Virginia. Not a bad presentation there. It says Virginia made right on it. Mustang Sally Brewing Company. 5.5%, just a little tick above what a common domestic beer would be. What a great pour!
Wow.
Great!
That's
Look at
gorgeous.
that. Yeah, it's a great golden ale looking there.
What was
golden
this,
lager?
What was the porter? 7. No, that's only bitter. It didn't say on here.
You know, it's a simple packaging on
What's
this
the brewing
thing. I
company
like
on
it.
this?
I really like this Mustang Sally right
Yeah, I
here.
drink this all the time when I'm out.
Golden Lager.
Yeah, I like it.
I smell
I
that.
can tell you right now, I like
Oh,
it.
it's got a great smell
Yeah.
to it right away.
Yep.
As soon as you put your snout up there.
Oh,
I like
yeah.
it. Yep. No doubt.
Oh, my.
Thanks for the short change there, Jack.
Yeah, eat shit.
Again, not a real
You
big
and
bite
your
on the
liquor.
end.
No,
Goes
not
down
a big
nice
bun.
and smooth.
No, remember, we're talking when we start getting into the hoppiness. We're
very
talking about
weedy.
we're talking into the, that's where the bitters are coming from in the hoppies that you're going to find in the IPAs and the other pale ales. That hoppiness.
It goes down smooth,
I don't get a lot
but
of
from
bitter
my
out of
own
this.
personal taste, I'm
No,
not a fan of the flavor.
But once
but
again,
that's my own. But
Can you mute
that's
him
my
real
own
quick?
thing.
I know, but let me ask you something.
It goes
we
down
talked
smooth,
about
though.
we talked about this, and one of the things that we could do was add some citric flavor to this, either an orange or a lime. And we're not talking Bud Light lime, that bullshit. We're not
That
we're not
preppy shit.
knocking them, but we're not talking about a domestic beer. We're talking about a craft beer that if you added a little bit
Nobody
of freaking
in St.
if
Louis
you
is going to
add,
listen to this program.
yeah. What do they know? What do they
yeah,
know?
but personally, I'm
I
not
like
a fan of the
domestic.
flavor.
I
It goes
like
down
domestic stuff.
It
Well,
goes
I'm
down
telling you what.
smooth,
Yeah, it does.
but it's
But if you
It's
put a
just
little,
not my cup of tea,
I know,
you know?
but if you, it's just like your Blue Moon. You drink your Blue Moons with the freaking with the orange slices. How about this with an orange slice, or the Licking Hole Creek's the strawberry Hefeweizen.
Well, they should put
If
some
you ha-
strawberry in that if they're going to call it that.
well, you can hit those. You can taste those strawberry notes at the very end. But I wonder if they wouldn't be more promising if you had a little bit of maybe a little bit more of a lemon, maybe a little bit of
You
an
know, I don't care.
orange or
Just put a
lime.
disclaimer on it saying you got to bring your own damn strawberries.
All right, and then our last one,
Look at that
Midnight
coming off
Brewery
the rim.
from
Last one.
Look
Goochland.
at that coming off the rim.
Oh no, this is
number
that's-
5.
This is number 5 right here. Goochland County, Virginia. Midnight Brewery's Not My Job. That's not my job.
That is not
That's
my job.
That is not my job. This is called the English Brown Ale. I saw this one. We had to have it. Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Look at that's
Oh, it
gorgeous.
looks like the toilet.
Oh,
It looks
That
like a
is a
porter. It has the
lot of
color.
head.
It has a lot. It has.
well, we got
not
the
neck
music
for it.
going. We got the music going.
Oh
I know,
Jesus!
it sounds
Yeah.
like we're.
That's what you want to hear your dad say.
We
Here
are
we go.
going down the hill fast.
Oh my. That's got a little bite to her.
It's got the color of the porter. Definitely
Holy
a lot
crap,
of head.
that's a lot of. Yeah, that is a lot of head that I got.
If I
Holy
was
shit! Your
oh
whole
my
cup's
God.
head. Do you know how to pour beer?
slow the music.
came out
Slow the
fast.
music. With that much head, you should slow the music
Yeah.
down.
But
But
it's
I'll
going to
tell
be a
you
short
this.
night. I'll tell you
I'll
that.
tell you this. This has a little bit of a punch to it. What's our ABV on this one, Patrick? What's it say?
ABV, if I can find it, 5% alcohol.
No, that's got a little kick to it.
Does not say. Does not say. Does not say at all.
They don't want to tell us.
What would you say? In the,
They don't want to
30?
tell us, and after 3, we're on the floor face
Well,
down.
I know this. No. What I'm saying is that.
Oh my God.
This is 5.0.
Holy shit.
Goochland County.
No.
It's not. It's not over the top. You know what? There's like an
My
extra
balls
fizz
just
there.
rubbed in
Yeah,
my
you know
stomach.
what? I'm getting it too. It's almost like you got.
Would you
seltzer
drink
water in your
foam?
Hey, but you know what? No, you know what? Hey,
It's got
I'm
good
not-
flavor, but it hits you.
Okay,
I mean
well,
that.
but it's not.
Holy
It
cow.
doesn't hit you.
I just hit puberty. Jeez.
Well, now you'll grow some facial hair. God damn it. Yeah,
Sorry, I just cut all mine off. But you know what? I was reading about bottles that sit on the shelf for too long, and maybe this bottle sat for a little bit. I wonder if we had another Midnight Brewery bottle. Not my job. If we had a fresh one, if it wouldn't have a little bit of a different taste. You know what I mean? Maybe because it sat on the shelf at room temperature. That's a black lid. Maybe it sat on the shelf at room temperature, and then our cooling changed its chemical nature, and maybe it was meant to be drank at a lower temperature.
it has good flavor,
sort
but
of-
it hits all at once.
But
If
I'm
that makes
wondering if
sense,
that
you
didn't
know?
have anything to do with.
Well, it says right here it's going to pair well with roast pork,
Road.
hearty beef stew, or grilled steaks.
I'll show
We
it.
might need.
Love
I
me
still
some
got.
grilled
Oh,
steaks.
look at that.
Looks great.
I'll show it some stew.
Do we need more cups? I mean, I still got a shit ton of foam.
Yeah,
after
well,
that.
we can grab some
CJ
more.
drank
cup-
all the head.
Yeah. Oh God, that was.
Well, maybe we can get one of the wenches to get us some freaking cups. out of
Holy
the class.
shit.
Hey, wench over there. Maybe can we get some plastic cups over here? And you
That's a
shouldn't stand
no
that
from
That's
her and a
horrible.
middle
She should-
finger coming up out
That's
there.
She shouldn't
horrible.
stand that close to a bar with a bar TV and not have her eyesight affected.
I am not a fan. It doesn't equal the wood boogers.
Oh,
one that we
Woodburger
had
was
the
it
other
was
day.
heavy. It was.
I don't mind.
I don't
it.
wanna
just-
bash the
This
beer
is one
because
of those
somebody
things
likes
to me
that.
that's just there's not like anything distinguishing about it. You know, it just kind of goes down, and
It goes down. It's like, oh,
it is what
my
it is.
God. Okay.
If you're drinking to get drunk, have about
No,
5 each.
well,
Have about 2.5.
well, if you're
I'm,
drinking,
I'm not knocking these guys. I'm looking at this beer
If you're
and I'm
drinking to
thinking to
get-
myself, maybe it sat on the shelf a little bit long. I've read about that. I've read about the time that it sits on a shelf and before it's purchasing, and it's like a born on date. And if we didn't hit it right, maybe we're not offering them what we need to offer them. I think it's a great taste. It just needs a little bit something more, and maybe we didn't hit it with our timing and our temperature, and that could be it. You know, you talk about a lot of English brown ales, and this is an English brown ale. That's cellar temperature. It's not freaking cold 37 and 38 degrees in your regular refrigerator. So let's not push them over the top.
So one more beer to go, though.
We got our last one. I'm looking forward to this. This is Three Notched Brewing Company, Charlottesville, Virginia. This one looks. Oh, listen to that. Oh, that's naughty. That's just as good as a zipper compared to our freaking music. We got fresh cups for this one. This
damn
is
music, I
This is Three Notched Brewing Company. Oh, look at that. That's golden ale.
that's
Golden ale. This is a limited release. Oh, this is a limited release beer out of Charlottesville, Virginia. Three Notch Brewing Company. Does that look good? Does that look good?
Oh yeah,
Yeah. I like that.
nice pour.
Oh,
Very nice
the,
pour.
Great simple golden ale.
Yeah.
I got a burp really.
I got it. And there you go.
Oh, see now,
There we go.
this is good. This is some
I'm
good stuff right
excited.
here. I like it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's
That is wonderful. It goes down smooth. It's got great flavor.
yep.
That is gorgeous. That is gorgeous.
Well,
Three Notched Brewing Company.
Yeah, Charlottesville. Look at that.
Limited release though. Like
Yeah, I think they're seasonal.
that is
And then
golden. Oh, that is lovely.
not bad. Not bad at all.
That might compete
Buzzman,
with.
what are you thinking about
Oh,
that
I'm
one?
loving it. Loving it.
That might compete with the.
Absolutely.
That
goes
might
up in
compete
the
with-
top two. That goes
That's
up in the top two.
easy.
Yep.
Easy. That is wonderful. That is wonderful.
Let's put that up there in the middle.
Absolutely. The short guy coming in. We got the 16 ounces, and then we got the bottles.
Yeah.
The little baby one.
Yeah.
The little baby one.
Tis the little baby one. Wow, that is wonderful. Great pour, great look.
Yep.
Yeah.
The aroma
you know
is
what?
nice
It's-
and light. It's
you know
great.
what? When we were in the store, we're gonna for the next couple of weeks, not just this week, but 2 weeks following, we're gonna do a couple of other three notched beers, and so we really like this three notched golden ale. Holy cow, is that a great beer?
That is
Take a look at this.
fantastic.
Let's get this on here. We're going to get our Twitter photo. We're going to put up. So let's round this out. Let's get done with this. And let's end this show. I had a great time tonight. Licking Hole Creek, Strawberry Hefeweizen, I'm putting near the bottom of the list. Not bad. I wonder if this wouldn't had something a little more citricy or added to it, would add it punch it up with a little
Listen,
bit
I
of
wouldn't
orange flavor.
turn it down. I mean, it
had a great
had
flavor,
some tough
but I think
competition today.
The
Yeah,
Not
some
My
tough
Job,
competition.
the Goochland, freaking County, Virginia, the Midnight Brewery, the Not My Job, the dark English brown ale. I'm not giving them a knockdown. I'm not beating those guys up. I don't know if we got a great bottle there. I just don't. I don't think there's something going on in that bottle that we didn't expect.
No, look, nothing bad. Nothing
because
I
it
would
had
turn
good
down.
flavor. It all hit at once.
Yeah,
though,
Mustang.
And I think
the Mustang Sally Lager, the Golden Lager, top shelf right there. Cold, ice cold, big mug, cold glass. I could see pouring a few of those in the neck.
Ain't no doubt about
And
it.
then we're coming down to the dark boys, Baltic Porter, Ravens Roost.
Pistol's favorite.
Ugh.
Absolutely. That porter,
telling you
man.
what.
I didn't think I would be a fan of porters, but that was absolutely delicious.
Wouldn't mind if
Coming.
I wouldn't mind seeing that in a half and half. And then finally, coming down to our last two, batting 1,000, the Beltway Brewing Red Lager, definitely top shelf, and also 3 Notch Brewing's Golden Ale.
Crisp,
Those
clean,
two.
delicious.
I don't know. There's got to be a close tie. I want to go Beltway Brewing just simply because All-Star Game.
Yeah, I think based on our conversations tonight, that's the
Yep.
not clear-cut winner, but the winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, CJ.
See, if
close
they
us
were
out here,
if
buddy.
they were playing the Nationals, shit, that thing was going $10 a freaking can.
Yep.
So,
All right.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
CJ, here we
to
go.
finish this off, we do have a Twitter, of course. Follow us on Twitter at ThePubQM. That's ThePubQM. Follow us on Twitter there to get updates and also the pictures of the beers that we take so you can take a look at them for yourselves. And we also are on Spotify. We are on Spotify. For some reason, I could not get it to be Pub Talk, so you can look us up on the search bar at CJ's Pub Talk, CJS PUBTALK. That's how you can look us up. The beer mug and the headphones, that's us. But from all of us here at Pub Talk, we want to thank our very good friends at Duvel and also Route 11 Chips, of course, for sponsoring this episode. But we got some sports on the TV to watch, and we, of course, from Pat, Coach, Buzzman, and CJ.
Oh, yeah.
We hope you
Thanks
enjoy,
again.
but there
Be here.
are some sports to watch on the
Yeah.
TV right now. We have some beers to drink,
Fuck
and we
yeah.
hope that you drink responsibly. Have a nice night and have a good weekend. This will come out on Sunday, and we hope that you enjoyed. As always, guys, peace out.